Good day, everybody. Matthew from Captive Audience Comics here. So today for you, we're going to show you an example of how we open our slabs when we do CPR work. So cracking, pressing, and resubmitting. So either because a book was never cleaned and pressed previously before it was graded, or maybe the cleaning and pressing wasn't done to the highest potential, or your slab is damaged. It came back damaged from CGC and you forgot to get it ME'd, mechanical error fixed, or you dropped it. Watched customers drop slabs as they walked away from their store, and they're like, well, if I have to get it reslabbed, then might as well get it regraded anyways. Now, with the new CGC slabs that are starting to be introduced, some people are having difficulties in opening those slabs. So we're going to show you a bunch of slabs that we recently CPR'd, some new and some previous versions, and you'll see how we do it. And you'll see that CGC still has some issues they're gonna have to resolve. Okay, so we'll go ahead and I'm gonna do a voiceover. I took this video previously, and I'm just gonna do a voiceover for you guys on what we're doing in here. Okay. So a customer brought us several slabs to be CPR'd. Okay. And you'll see that we use a small flathead screwdriver, and I'm sorry for the angle, but I'll explain to you what I'm doing here. I'm using the thin edge of a small flathead screwdriver, and I'm sliding it in between the edges of the plastic. And then basically I'm just giving a twist, and I'm just trying to open up enough of a gap to get another screwdriver in there. Now you'll see this is a new slab, because you'll see that it's not stretching open easily. You'll see that I'm trying several different times. You can see that the plastic is a little more marred. Where I'm twisting it, I'm just trying to widen out that gap, okay? And with the older style slabs, there's no sealing in here. You twist that screwdriver and the whole thing just peels open. So now you can see I'm gonna try it now onto the side. Same thing. I put the screwdriver in between. I've wedged it open just a crack, and you'll see now I've got the larger screwdriver in there, and you'll see the end is right inside that edge. And now I'm just sliding along, and the pressure of that is releasing that edge as I go. Okay. And you'll see that the acrylic is not splitting when I do this. It's just separating at the seam. Okay. And now that I can get around to the top, you'll see no problem separating that top. Now, I'm showing you things you got to watch out for. So I've only opened those sides. Now I can go in, obviously, and I can grab that label, and I can pull the label out. Now, if I was really want to be really careful, I'd use forceps or something. But I haven't completely split. Now you can see how the bottom section is basically popped right open. I didn't even split that out. It just popped open on its own. Okay, and I'm just gonna slide that inner well out. Now I've got a book out, easy peasy. I got the label completely undamaged, and I have a slab that if I were to use a little acrylic sealer in there, other than that damage on the top that I caused when I was first trying to twist, I could put a little acrylic sealer in there, seal that sucker back up. You'd never know. So you can see how it discolors when it splits. That's just where the plastic is separating on the edge. But as long as that separation doesn't spiral crack out, you can completely reseal those. Now, what I'm trying to show you here is these are all of the corner posts. And in this particular case, the corner posts are completely undamaged. The camera has a hard time focusing, but you'll see the posts are right there. Undamaged, fully intact. They're not even marred or unshaped, okay? That's a new CGC slab, by the way. That's their new higher protection slab, okay? So obviously, they got some issues. So now that I know we're going in at the side, I'm doing the same thing. Now, maybe have your slab on a low friction surface. It was hard to film this and keep the slab completely vertical. But I'll, when you're doing it yourself, have like a high friction tab. So there you go. I already out of space. Now you can see me. I'm just with my hands. I'm just literally pulling it apart with my hands now. As soon as you crack that tiny little bit of resistance there, okay, and again, slide the screwdriver around. Everything pops out. Now, I'm not being particularly extra careful to try to pull these out with no damage. This is just how I'd normally do it. If you really wanted to, try to be super careful, then you could do that. Wouldn't be a problem. There you go. Label completely undamaged. Now this side here, you'll see that bottom corner didn't even open up. I basically popped one corner, books out, labels out again. I put some acrylic sealer in there. Never gonna know. New CGC slab. Okay. And you'll see now, the only reason I'm doing this is just to see how the posts are going to look after I separate the whole slab here. Okay. So again, I think this one came out and there was no damage to the female side of the posts. I can't remember. One of these one post did shear, and it wasn't that. I think this one post did shear. And again, keep in mind that I'm not doing anything special to try to protect these cases when I open them. I'm sure I could have opened that case with 0 damage because the other posts all just popped out. And you'll notice with that one, there was no damage to the case from trying to, like, we had in the first one from the top where the plastic was sort of misshapen, okay? Now in this one, I was having a hard time getting a grip on my super tiny screwdriver for the twisting. So I just got rid of that little pocket thing. I'm gonna hold my pocket. Now this is an interesting one because this is an older case design. Because I tried to go from the side and I couldn't. Because on the older cases, the heaviest sealing was on the side. So I went back to the top on this one, and you'll see how easy it was to separate that top. It like literally just took almost nothing to separate that. So again, just using my screwdriver, I'm just just sliding along. Pardon my cough. Have a throat thing that's taken a while to go away, and I just slide it down the side. Okay. And you'll see me able to just pop that apart. So again, this is an old slab. And I'm just showing that. You can see on this one, there actually was a little more acrylic. The acrylic didn't separate on the sides completely straight even. There are some very minor edges where the acrylic is misshapen. Not so bad that you couldn't hide it with acrylic solvent, but this one would be easier to see. But again, all 4 posts are completely intact. Again, okay, just the posts are doing nothing. The posts are really just seem to be a way for the machine to line up. Okay, they're not actually sonic welding those seams at all. So again, you'll see that big wide spot. That's where on the old style of slabs, that's where the heavy seaming. And like here, I didn't even have to use my little screwdriver. This is an old style case. Literally just spread it with my fingertips. Okay. People are using heat guns to soften up these cases and all sorts of weird stuff. You don't need to do any of that. Honestly, all you need to do is create a little gap, and then you're good to go. All right? Slide your flathead around the edge, and it's gonna come right out. Now this book was it's an older slab. The actual book itself is from 1952. I don't know how old this particular this particular book was slabbed. I suppose I could look it up from the cert number. Not that long ago, because it's not a first generation case. Now this is a case where you probably wouldn't be able to hide this one in this method. You can see how uneven the acrylic split on the side. There's lots of jagged edges there. That one probably, even with acrylic sealer, you'd probably notice. And you'll see I'm just gonna pull the whole case apart. I'm not even gonna bother trying to split it around. Or maybe I am. One of these cases actually splits, which is actually ideally what you would want it to do. you're trying to tamper with, you'd actually want the acrylic to split. So again, the posts, the posts and the wells for the posts, perfectly fine. But you can see, yeah, there was a crack on the acrylic there. You saw that. That's what you want a case to do. If somebody's tampering with it, you want that crack to radiate out onto one of the flat surfaces. Because that's going to be really hard to disguise, and it's going to be hard to explain why that happened. Now, obviously, this is a case where this particular case is was damaged, and we're just going to CPR it because it has to go in for reslab. You can see a giant crack across the bottom. Obviously, when they're already cracked like that, super easy because you already have a big gap in the case. You don't have to worry about trying to get that first access point, and then everything's just gonna slide right out. I can't remember if I broke the bottom of this one off. No, there you go. Just slid that one out, and then I think we just separate the case and to pull the title off. Now you can see how that one, see when it split across the surface of the case. Obviously, we already had a crack down the bottom, so there was a weak point on that case, which is why it split across the middle. And there might be, and there you go, everybody. So that'll give you some tips on how to open. I'm going to call them second generation CGC cases and current generation. So the current generation being their new one, second generation being the ones they've been using for the past 8 years or so. Because first gen cases look completely different. So if you've been having issues around how to open up those cases, or you've been concerned with the new design and you want to open them for CPR, but you don't want to damage the inner well, that's how you do it. Not rocket science. For the new cases, start from the side. Second gen cases, start from the top, make a little space, put a little slightly larger flathead in there, and just run it around the sides, making sure obviously you don't accidentally stab the inner well, and you're good to go. So hopefully that is helpful for you guys, and we will talk to you later. Have a great day.